Hello people of the internet, what you're looking at right now is the ultimate secret of how I produce just about all of my videos. Alright, you can't see it, that's the beauty of it. Today we're talking about, one moment, this, my DIY teleprompter. And I'm now going to have to put it back on the tripod to finish up this video. A teleprompter works by reflecting light coming from a screen, in my case my Android smartphone, towards the person sitting in front of the camera. It allows me to read a script while looking right down the lens. Because the glass which is reflecting the light is at a 45-degree angle, none of the light from the screen is reflected back into the camera sensor. It's one of those things where once you understand how it works, you realize just how crude it actually is. If you're further interested in how this thing works, there's a brilliant video by Technology Connections, which I'll have linked somewhere. I wish I had built my teleprompter earlier, because not only does it shorten the time spent recording because I have to do fewer retakes, it also shortens my time spent editing, because I have to remove fewer retakes. You might be asking yourself, why do I even need a teleprompter? Shouldn't a real YouTuber be doing everything off the cuff? The answer is rather simple. My brain stops working as soon as I press the record button on my camera. It's like the two are connected with one of those flick switches, and whenever one turns on, the other turns off. It's weird how humans work. Or maybe that's just me. Talking about switches, a button is a type of switch, right? And the like button is one that you can hit to support this video and my channel as a whole. Thank you very much. I started off my massively successful YouTube career by just plotting the outlines of my videos on a piece of paper. That was awful. It made recording the videos a really frustrating experience because I'd anger myself by making mistakes or not knowing what to say next, and that would lead me to make even more mistakes because it would frustrate me. And because I'm continually recording, there would be these massive breaks in my timeline of me just sitting there and thinking about what to say next. The next step I took was to write full-blown scripts, but I had no way of reading off of a script without breaking eye contact, so I tried to memorize one sentence at a time, which led me to having to insert a load of B-roll to cover up all the nasty jump cuts. There's only so many of them I can tolerate in one video. It also made editing take longer than it should have, because I had to re-listen to myself repeating the same sentence over and over again with varying degrees of accuracy until I got it right. Okay, I'll stop the silly inserts now. I'd also attached the script to my tripod and glanced down between takes in an effort to minimize the time between me having read the sentence and recording myself speaking it. The problem with that is that I would constantly find myself unconsciously looking down at the piece of paper while talking, and more B-roll was needed to cover that up. The day came when I decided enough was enough. I first started browsing commercial teleprompters, but those cost just a bit too much for my liking. Luckily for me, I found out, thanks to a number of YouTube videos, that you can build a DIY teleprompter for next to nothing. Most guys recommend you go with a picture frame, as that will give you an appropriately sized piece of glass. That's what I did, and I built the rest of my teleprompter around that panel of glass. It's literally only 3 bits of MDF I cut up using a jigsaw, and the hole you're seeing is only there to reduce weight. I routed 2 channels into the side to slide in the glass panel. Then I attached an Arca compatible mount to the bottom of it using a couple of screws. The camera itself is attached to an Arca quick release plate, so I can easily remove it whenever I want. When recording, I cover up the whole thing with a dark shirt to minimize reflections coming in from the back. It looks like I'm talking to one of those old style photographs whenever I'm recording, but hey, it works. You could also build something similar using only a razor blade and a few foam core panels. I went with MDF so it would last a bit longer. As I've mentioned, I use my phone to display the text on the glass itself, and you'll want an app to do this because the text has to be white on a black background, and it also has to be mirrored and upside down, I guess. It's also nice to have an automatic scrolling function. The app I use and have absolutely no affiliation with is called Nano Teleprompter, and it is available to download from the Google Play Store. I use it because it is highly customizable and, more importantly, it syncs with Google Drive. As I write all of my scripts in Google Docs, I can simply make a copy of the document and move it into my Nano Teleprompter folder. That script will then automatically be downloaded by the app without me having to do a thing. And the Nano Teleprompter app has one added benefit which makes using the teleprompter so much easier. In earlier videos you might have noticed an Xbox controller sitting behind me on my desk. That Xbox controller has gone now because I use it to control the app. Yep, the app has full Bluetooth controller support, and as this thing is connected to it, I can use it to control the text displayed on my teleprompter. I've simply set the A button to play and pause, and I can move the text forward and backwards using the D-pad. You can connect just about any Bluetooth controller to the app and configure what each button does. My DIY teleprompter, or any DIY teleprompter for that matter, isn't perfect. You'll see this kind of weird effect where the text is displayed twice and overlapping itself. The reason for that effect is because what I'm using is just a plain old glass panel, and what happens is that light is being reflected off the front of the surface of the glass and also off the back surface of the glass. But it still is worlds apart from not having a teleprompter at all. Professional teleprompters do have some coating on the glass to mitigate this effect. That is also what explains their high price. You might also have noticed that my use of the teleprompter isn't quite perfect yet. It does take a bit of practice. You will see my eyes drift from left to right now and again when I'm reading the text. And I've also come to realize that I do weird things with my face when reading, such as constantly pulling up my eyebrows, making me look rather surprised. Those are all things I'm working on. Because I'm using a rather small panel of glass and my phone, I also have to place the tripod quite close to where I sit. You could in theory build a teleprompter using a larger picture frame and have a tablet display the text. Having a larger teleprompter allows you to place it further away, and that can make the eye scanning effect less noticeable. And before you think about having a go at me for using a teleprompter, I'll have you know that many big YouTubers use them. Linus Tech Tips and Gerald Ardan are just two examples that immediately come to mind. I don't think LTT would be able to produce 2 to 4 videos daily if it weren't for the genius invention that is the teleprompter. So that's it, the secret behind my YouTube channel. If you are having problems memorizing your scripts, I suggest you either purchase or build one right now. You'll be kicking yourself, as I did, for not doing it earlier. As always, thanks for watching, and please do hit that like button if you did indeed like this video. And if you're interested in hearing more of me ramble, there's a subscribe button right next to it. Alright, that's been enough from me for one day. I will see you in the next one. Bye.